All right, guys, we have 3 doors to install. I got 2 sides of metal done, so I'm going to get these doors in so I can start trimming all the windows and doors out. But first thing you want to do, if you look here, we have our 1.5" grade board right here, and then we have our frost protection insulation, and then we have our concrete. So concrete guys don't always get this perfectly level across here, so what I do is I take a level, and then you can see I just kind of grind lightly to get that perfectly level. Now I will cover this with more flashing. Let's see, I will show you the grinder that I use. So I've got the door I just showed you. I have this door. You can see that I had to grind there. This big one over here I had to grind quite a bit. I get my doors with 8.5" jambs. My doors will come all the way till here. So this was kind of high here, so I had to grind that out so it was nice and level. Now, this does not hurt you. We are going to flash this, but if water was to ever somehow get through there, it's not going to go back into the house. It's going to come out and go over this edge here. So that is a good thing. I just use a diamond blade on my grinder, and it grinds that down really good. Just put my level across. And then I just work it. I'll see where it's high or where it's low, kind of figure out what I need to do, and I'll just keep doing that until I get it how I want it. I've gotten all 3 doors the way I want them, so I'll go ahead, reflash all of this since I nicked some of it, and I like to have 2 layers anyway, and then we will get our doors and get those installed. All right, so we have this leveled off, which is the first crucial point, and now we got to check our rough opening, which I framed off the door specs. So you're just gonna wanna 37.5, and I know I'm 38, just 38, a little over 38, so I'm good there. And then our rough height, it's 81.75, and I'm 82.25. These are Therma-Tru doors. They're pretty nice doors. They got aluminum brick mold, jambs, so they're really nice. And one thing to mention about doors and windows is the nicer the door and window, usually the easier it is to install. Every door, window will come with installation instructions. So really you just have to follow that. On a stick frame house, I would use a sill pan because you're going to have wood framing under there. I have flashing. This slightly slopes out. If this door was ever to fail, the water should go out. If it doesn't, it's just concrete floor. So we're really not worried about ruining the concrete. We're gonna make sure we use the proper sealant, which they usually recommend, like OSI Quad. It's a poly sealant. And then we gotta make sure our beads go on the bottom jamb where they're supposed to. We'll take this board off here. We'll lay a nice thick bead on this bottom, and then we'll lay a nice thick bead right here, and then we'll lay one on this extended sill. You can see this has weep holes, so hypothetically where this jamb extension is right here, if water gets through there, it should come out these weep holes right here. Another place we'll put sealant is on the underside of these nailing flanges. This one thing that is nice about these doors is they come with a nail flange on both side jambs and top jamb. We will, once we get all the staples and stuff pulled, we'll do a dry fit just to make sure it sits in there nice and plumb and square, and then we'll put all our sealant. All right, so we set the door in there for a dry fit. Checking my sill to make sure my concrete is level, and we look pretty darn good. Let me check the inside. Look pretty good on the inside here, so we'll go ahead and pull it out, put some sealant on it, and get this installed. Ready? All right, so we have this in. We have it level and plumb. So we're gonna screw that off, and then when we do the hinges, I'll come in here with my level, make sure if I need to shim this over. I think that hinge down there, I'm gonna have to shim over a little bit to tighten up that, but this door already sits really, really nice. The reveal already looks great, so be pretty minimal work, I think. This is the sealant I'm using. It's Weathermaster. It's a polymer. We'll lay a bead across the top, down both sides, and then put a bead across here, and then across the extended sill, and then down each jamb. And it says to use an entire tube just on the bottom, so they want you to be generous with your sealant. Got a bead of sealant all along there, and you can see flange out.
Yep.
Alright guys, one of the most important things when you're installing a door is to make sure that that threshold, what you're setting the door on, is perfectly level. That is step one. If that is not level, when you set that door in there, there's no way possible that you're going to be able to get the corners of those doors square or anything like that. So that's step one. Make sure where that sill is going to sit is perfectly level. Then from there, we can test fit the door, make sure it fits into the opening okay. Then once we install it, we will start with the hinge side. For this door, for example, which is a double door, we'll start on one hinge side, and if that sill plate is perfectly level, if we plumb one hinge side, the other side should be plumb as well. So that's how I did this door. I started with the sill, made sure that was perfectly level, then I plumbed one of the hinge side, and then checked the other side, which was pretty much perfect. Make sure your reveals are all good, and then you should have a well-functioning door. Now, I will say the higher quality door that you get, the easier it is to install the door. If you get kind of a lower end door, it's much more difficult to get that door to fit properly, to be level and plumb and function in a really good way. Made sure that was level, plumbed our sides, screwed in the nailing flange, got it all taped off. Now, the door is pretty thick, it's an 8.5 inch jamb. Now in here, we're going to shim and adjust our door the way we need it to, so all of our reveals are right. We look pretty good already. We're gonna have to do it on both sides because this is a double door. The top of the door needs to go that way, so start at the bottom. And what it looks like to you, it needs to go right there.
Yeah.
Which isn't much, but we'll shim this bottom first. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap on today's show. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Installing doors can be a really frustrating thing. So just to recap really quickly, make sure where that sill is going to sit is perfectly level. If that's not level, the rest of your door install is not going to work. Start with that, then plumb your hinge side, and then the rest of it should go pretty well if you can do those two things. Make sure you guys come back. The next couple of videos, we are going to be finishing out all of the steel on this building. So we still have above and below the porch, around all the doors and windows, above and below the garage door eyebrow. So there are a lot of really good details that are coming up in the next couple of videos. They're going to help you be more successful on your self-build. So make sure you check that out. As always, we appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and we will catch you on the next video.